Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sabbath. Although it's close to the end of the Sabbath right now, though, like half hour left before the sun goes down, before sunset. But I just want to talk about those. Today is I was been watching a whole lot of videos about the Old Testament, the Law, the New Testament. How this affects our lives, and are we under law or under grace? You know, and I'm just very surprised at how quickly people dismiss the Old Testament when you can't dismiss the Old Testament. It's not dismissible quickly. The Old Testament. I'm not a Bible scholar, by the way, but the Old Testament. That's why I make a few points here. All right. When Jesus Christ came on earth, there was no New Testament. The New Testament is a commentary, right, on what happened with Jesus. Okay. New Testament came after. All right, it's the things the apostles did. It talks about the birth of Christ, right? So when you read the New Testament, all right, you're reading what somebody was doing basically, to fulfill the Old Testament, or you're reading about a people who lived, based on the Old Testament, what you call it Torah, right? Right, that's all they had. Right, so when Christ came, he came, he quoted, Isaiah, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, right? That's all they knew is the Old Testament. And that's all, and Jesus Christ is the one that wrote the Old Testament, by the way. He inspired men to write the Old Testament, right? Okay? That's all they had. So, people get the commentary, which is the New Testament, and they say, oh, this is all we need, right? You don't, there is no Bible. Just the New Testament is not a Bible. It's again it's a description of what happened because of the Old Testament. Okay, the real scriptures is the Old Testament, right? That is what tell you about who God is, the mind of God, how He made man. Okay, what the future holds. It's all in the Old Testament. Okay, so to say that, okay, well, the Old Testament is gone. It's the law. Yeah, it's the law, and a lot more things. Okay, you want to know about God? Read the Old Testament. We want to know what the future holds. The Old Testament. You want to know about the creation. What happened in the past. Everything. Read the Old Testament. Okay? Um, it is. They say, okay, okay, it's the law. Yes, we still have law. You need laws. How do you measure when somebody does wrong? We don't have the law. I'm not. Of course, some things have changed because when Christ came, after people forgot about the laws that Israel violated God's laws, and became apostate. They were being governed by the Romans. Christ came. He wouldn't keep his laws, and all the curses of Deuteronomy came upon them. So Christ came now, and he came to basically satisfy the law. Satisfy to open the doors basically to the whole world, because Israel is gone basically, and when he came, they rejected him anyway, right? So now he's going to make the gospel accessible, make God Himself accessible to people who anywhere in the world who want Him. And that's when He died. Basically, He died. He fulfilled those parts of the law where you know we're dependent on one locale. Where God said, okay, in the place where I call my name, you're gonna sacrifice there. All right, you're gonna come there, bring your tithes there. Okay, so and when Christ was crucified and the veil was ripped in the temple, basically the temple is gone. No, it's no, our bodies are the temples. Human beings all over the world. I'm saying can serve God. It doesn't have to be in one locale anymore, in one specific place where God puts His name. Okay, but the laws are still there because that's how that's read the Old Testament, read God's book, that Jesus Himself wrote. Right, it tells you about God and what He demands of men. And he selected a group of people, the Israelites, to basically be His people, and they said no, they rejected Him. So now he's going throughout all the earth looking for people to serve Him. But how do you know God? How do you know the nature of God? Because the New Testament? I said no. Not New Testament is like really you want to know God. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up. He's gonna direct you back to the Old Testament. You're gonna get the gospel. Of course, is described in the church. It's described in the New Testament. Yes, all right. However, when you become saved, I'm telling you, if you really seek God, He's gonna point you back towards the Old Testament. That's who I am right there in the Old Testament. The gospel points towards the Old Testament. You can't have the New without the Old Testament. It's impossible, because the New Testament is describing, right, why there is a New Testament, why Jesus came, because of the Old Testament. All right. As far as laws, and everything else, people were not under law, and the law, and the law. We're always under law. When they get saved, what are they getting saved from? You're a new creation, for what reason? You're gonna get saved from sin and be in sin same way? I don't understand why the Christ died on the cross so you can keep sinning. I'm not saying you can just become perfect like that. I'm not saying that, but a sinner and a saint are two different creatures. When you're a sinner, you relish sin, you love sin, you live for sin. You think that sin is the only way, or you choose that way. When you're a saint, you seek to please God. You seek to know His laws. What does He like? What does what He doesn't like? You live for God, and if you do sin, it is an exception. You're not proud of it. You repent of it, and you move on. I'm saying, and you plead the blood of Jesus. And when God sees sin, He gives you space to repent. Because the blood of Jesus Christ, the Son, is there. You plead the blood, and you get forgiven. But a sinner and a saint are two different people. A sinner is lawless. Right? A saint obeys the commandments of God. And how do you know God? The nature of God. Right? The Old Testament. That's how you know. That's who God is right here, His Old Testament. That's why He came. He's telling you about Himself, who I am, why I made man, what I expect of man. Right? The New Testament is a simple saying, okay, yes, God came, this is how He came. This is what the church, this is how, how you have to be in the church, this is what the church is. Right? But why is there a church? Why did Christ come? Right? What is God trying to accomplish? It's in the Old Testament. Okay? Have a good night.